Hi Winston, this is the very first video mail message that has ever been recorded anywhere in the entire world. I'm sending that message to you to show a goodwill from Pacific Bell. This is definitely a historical moment. I want to use this video message as a remark for this historical moment. Thank you very much. Bye.
This edition of ATL Insider, Hurricane Katrina Special, is brought to you by Winsonic Digital Media Group, Ltd.
Welcome to ATL Insider. I'm your host, Carlene Brown, and I'm standing in the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, this show was supposed to be about a group of Atlanta University Center students who are coming down to spend their weekend in the continuous cleanup efforts here in the city, but what we found is that there is still a much bigger story, and that's that of Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath that's left here in the city of New Orleans.
The story is no longer headline news, and these once familiar images are no longer the major news of the day. Yet this scene is still very much a reality in the city of New Orleans and the Gulf Coast region. Thousands of cars damaged by floodwaters stretch for miles, evidence that 8 months after Hurricane Katrina, its impact is still as fresh as if it had hit yesterday. And many residents are still working to get much-needed assistance.
This is bigger than 911 because just think about it. You had to evacuate a whole metropolitan city. I mean, it's never happened before. You know, you got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that's all over the country. You got hundreds of thousands of houses that just sitting flooded. People don't have nowhere to go. You know, that's a hell of a situation to be in, and the government's really not helping us.
When the flood insurance paid me, I had to send it to my mortgage company. My mortgage company holding the money because they say I have to be working, I have to figure out a payment plan and get a contractor to fix my house. So right now, the man is gutting it out, and I don't know what to do after that because as it stands, I have to wait and see what the weather gonna be like, or if we're gonna vacate, or what's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm just waiting.
And as residents wait, New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin prepares for a runoff election and says the city is heading in the right direction.
That this city is on the road to recovery, and there's a lot of good things happening, but a lot of work to be done. There's also a significant amount of dollars that is hung up in the federal government that all our state has to do is ask for the dollars, and then they can get grants of up to $150,000 to fix their home.
And as rebuilding takes place, the threat of another hurricane season has some wondering if they need to rebuild.
Think of all of the information that was lost in 9/11. Think of all data and information was lost when Katrina hit. Banks, central office, phone companies, and now there are central systems that utility companies have made a law in this country for all information, digital information. You would like to have a backup of everything in your
I would have
household.
liked to have had a backup. And where would the archive be?
You'd be able to, your cable company, phone company, and it'd be in a central archive location system.
Would I alone have access to it, or could someone get in?
You alone.
No. So wait a minute. Like this. Even though I had a fire, I could have went right to my company and said, my computer burned up, my disk burned up, my book and the editing burned up, give it back to me.
Virtual safety digital deposit box.
Virtual. So what comes first? The movie Matrix or the stuff that was in the Matrix?
It's all of the above together.
No kidding.
It's here today.
So it's already here?
Yes.
So what I watch is already here?
Yes. You're able to multicast all of what you see on programming.
Well, how do we teach this to children, or are we teaching it? Is this something they can learn in school? Because I want our children in particular, black and brown children, to be in the game, to know what to do, because this is going to be the way of communications.
We need more networking to bring that into the education market, and we are starting to lead that charge to get exposure and to get in our education environment through the have and have-nots. We still, in this country, in the have and have-nots, in our community, we have, and yet still have not. And in the have-nots, in our education, we just don't have anything. So we're breaking the barriers down so that the students and kids can
have.
Yes.
Can have. If you want more information about having and the have-nots, go to www.winsonic.net, winsonic.net. I am so proud to meet you. Still a little afraid, but I'll trust you. God bless you.
God bless you.
We'll be back.
I think this is an exciting time for all of us to come together at a time. George Fraser always puts on a class act. Networking is empowerment. I think it's really important that we begin to come together as a people, as a group, and start changing the motives of a lot of our thinking.
Well, George, has done such an incredible job. He has always talked about for the last 20 years the power of networking, and what he's done with this event is actually bring people who have similar interests, I think, together to make sure that the best comes out. I think that panel was just incredible. We were all pretty different, but everybody, I think, made a significant contribution in what they had to say.
Oh, I'm so full. I'm overflowing. This is a rich experience. It's incredible. The intelligence, the insight, the love, the emotion, the passion, the investment, and the ability to move beyond discourse to discipline, beyond rhetoric to reality, beyond symbols to substance. And that's what I'm interested in. How do we translate the ideas we have? The idea is important. A lot of people say, well, all we did was talk. Talking is critical. Talking is important. Even as you act, you should talk. Even as you will yourself into a better future, you should talk. But at the end of the day, it's about how we translate this to make a better life for somebody other than ourselves. So I'm so full because it's incredible to absorb this energy and to have the opportunity to come here and share with other people.
In our areas, we're focusing in trying to provide additional jobs, opportunity out there to try to leverage a lot of the opportunity in our growth of spending. For example, there's about $250 billion in media and transport, and about 4% of that go back into companies that are African American owned and diversity programs. We want to increase that margin. So Winsonic Digital Media Group is here, and we're excited. One of the things that have created opportunities is just history. In 1994-93, when the laws were set, put in a real chokehold and a disadvantage to minorities being able to own platforms, own any infrastructure that provide distribution to the communities. So in 1965, we were approved in this country to vote, which started changing the way government, cities, and states viewed our voice. And in that, opportunity began to grow, thanks to Dr. King, Rosa Parks, the Kennedys, and Thurgood Marshall, those that really did a big change and made opportunities for companies like us to look into buying these billion-dollar platforms and having ownership in those. In 1996, when Clinton signed the Telecom and Infrastructure Bill, it opened up opportunities. Winsonic is proud to be a part and a leader in that area of being able to be facilities-based. So as we begin to acquire hundreds of millions of facilities, not only in this country but around the world, being able to empower and provide platforms for media distribution, we're really ecstatic about that. And even today, as last week, the bill was passed, where history is starting to repeat itself, where now the competition opening up for cable and multi-channel video program distributors like DirecTV and EchoStar to open up the grip of the markets to allow alternative programming and distribution in their market reach. We're really excited about focusing on bringing that to all mankind.